Hi, we are recording. All right, so hi, Audrey Alamo here, and I'm here with Jessica Meyers.
Hi.
And we were just talking about when we met, and she said she knew me way before I knew her from my blog. But we met at this nutrition class, and then we've kind of stayed in touch through Facebook. But anyway, she's such a cool cat. And just a side note, I heard she is the hairdresser to
I am.
Cheryl.
I am.
Oh.
Lifestyle rich and famous.
I'd love to get my hair done by her, but it's not going to happen. I forgot to look at the time. Okay, so anyway, would you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Jessica, obviously. I am married. I have an amazing 13-year-old son. I moved here when I was about 8 years old, so I consider myself a Texan. And I've been in the beauty industry for 29 years.
Wow.
So, and I'm a very busybody. People who know me know that I am doing something 24/7. If I'm not doing something, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. And stay tuned because we're going to hear from Evan, her 13-year-old son.
Everett.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When she's finished. So how often do you get to hear a 13-year-old boy talk about his mom? This is going to be good. So what was your diagnosis?
I was diagnosed with stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma, and I was ER/PR HERS2 positive. My initial diagnosis really was shocking to me because, of course we had no family history of breast cancer. I was just really going in for an annual mammogram, and they found a small lump and called me back in for some imaging and more ultrasounds and all that stuff, and then after they did all that, the radiologist said, you have an area that has a lot of calcification that needs to be biopsied, and that was literally right before Christmas of 2014. So I really wasn't afraid or shocked. I mean, I wasn't really. I thought, I don't have cancer. It's just she's being extra cautious. So I wasn't worried, and and just said, okay, I'll come in and do the biopsy, do what you have to do. So I did the biopsy 2 days before Christmas, and that Monday following Christmas, they called me back and said, we need you to come in and go over your pathology report. And at that point, if I have to come in, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. And how were you told, or how did you hear it, and what were your thoughts?
The ride to the imaging center was very quiet. I had a lot going on in my head, and my husband was trying to make light of things and trying to be, trying not to be so serious, but I totally blocked him out. And when we got to the imaging center, she had the image pulled up on the screen. And we sat down, and she just said, you have breast cancer. And at that point, you lose it. You just lose it. And I don't know if I ever heard anything after that. Everything was just, you have breast cancer and you need to go see a surgeon. That was all I heard. Didn't know anything else. Right. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what she said, but I hope my husband heard because, just call a surgeon. That's what she said.
Was an oncologist who told you that?
It was the radiologist.
The radiologist.
My OBGYN, I'm very, proactive with my health. So I was always vigilant of going and having my mammograms done, my whatever checks done every year. And, it was time. I had just, saw my OBGYN, and she said, it's time to get your mammogram done. I said, okay, well, give me the paperwork. And so, she's, always kept me on track. And so she, initially sent me to the imaging center to have it done, and they called me back, and she was actually the one that told me the news, which was shocking.
Yeah. What I always find interesting is people's first couple of weeks after they hear, because we all seem to go through this initial just, meltdown, shock, and then we have to take some steps. What were some of the steps that you took in the first couple of weeks?
Oh gosh, all I knew was I needed to get in with a doctor. I needed to see a surgeon. My radiologist was she said, it was the first person you need to talk to, is you need to talk to a surgeon. And I thought, well, God, why am I not seeing a doctor? You know, I was just diagnosed. I didn't understand the process. And so, you know, she referred me to a surgeon, and they got me in the next day. And and it was, you know, it was right before actually right after the holidays. So I thought, I'm not going to get in until next year. But they said, no, come in. And I sat down with a surgeon, and he explained to me all my options. You know, he went over lumpectomy, mastectomy, deep flap reconstruction. He went over all of it and said, you know, your tumor's very small at this point. You may be able to just get away with a lumpectomy and some radiation. And I thought, well, that would be ideal. I wouldn't have to go through, you know, I'm thinking about my business, and I'm thinking about how much time am I going to be out. I don't want to have to go through chemo and all that. But that wasn't the luck of the draw.
Right.
So, yeah, and I sat there and stared at him for about 30 minutes, because he said, are you understanding, you know? And I said, no, I'm not. I said, He said, you probably want to see an oncologist. I said, yes, I do, because at this point, I need to know what my options are other than the surgery.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And how did you find your oncologist?
Initially, my first oncologist that I had, I wasn't real, we just didn't blend. I mean, he referred me to an oncologist that was really close by, and I made an appointment and was able to get in with her the next day. I went and saw her, and she just wasn't warm and fuzzy, and she just didn't have that kind of extra touch that I needed. Yeah. She was very medical, and I'm sure she's a great oncologist, but she just wasn't the right fit for me. And I had, my OBGYN had called me after my diagnosis and said, you know, who are you going to see? And I said, well, I have an appointment with, you know, an oncologist. She said, are you seeing Amy Lang? And I said, no. And she said, you know, that's who I would go to if I had cancer. And I said, oh. And I said, well, now I'm going to keep that in my, you know, in my thought process. Well, and then Marnie, who was a very good friend of mine, she had Amy Lang too. And then one of my clients, who is a surgeon, it's her oncologist. And so when I was talking to her about my first visit with my oncologist, she said, you need to go see Amy Lang. And I said, yeah, I think I do. So I sat down, actually met Marnie for coffee, and we sat down and talked, and she said, let's call Amy's office right now and see if we can get you an appointment. And I talked to Dr. Lang's nurse, and she said, fax us over all of your information, and I'll have her look at it, and we'll call you for an appointment. So, you know, no regrets. Absolutely no regrets. Yeah,
That's great info, though, that you can fire your oncologist. You know, you don't have to stick with the first one that you find. If you don't mesh or you don't feel comfortable, find one that you love. So I was wondering if you could talk for just a minute about the DIEP flap, because I didn't have that. I just had kind of a regular double mastectomy, and a lot of people have this DIEP flap.
Right.
I don't know anything about it.
Well, there's many flaps that you can get if you don't have enough tummy tissue, but if you have enough tummy fat, which I did, I was a perfect candidate for a DIEP flap reconstruction. And basically what they do is they take the skin and the fat from the bottom portion of your belly, and they put them up here, and they mold it and make it, you know, they make breast mounts. And so it's microsurgery, so they have to make sure the vessels and everything. It's a long surgery. It's an 8-hour surgery with a double mastectomy. And so, you know, not everybody can handle that, you know, type of surgery. But, you know, I knew that's what I wanted to do. You know, initially. So. And
the recovery time?
You know, for me,
longer, or?
It's supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks, but for me, it was literally, I was back to work at 3.5 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Which is, you know, and they're like, oh my God, you're superwoman. I'm like, well, you know, I was very conscious about keeping my health as when I was going through treatment. I exercised and tried to stay very active, because I knew that was going to help me when I went into an 8-hour surgery.
Yeah.
So, you know, they told me, don't overdo it. And, you know, it's hard for me to sit still. So in the hospital, my worst complaint was not any of the pain from the stomach or the breast. It was the bed. My butt was hurting.
Oh.
So I kept telling them, you know, my ass hurts. You know, I kept telling, you know, that's and my boobs. They're like, your stomach or boob? No. I go, my butt hurts and my back hurts. So, you know, that was my worst. And really, I mean, they manage your pain so well
Mm-hmm.
through the surgery,
Mhm.
and I was shocked at how pain-free I was.
Mhm.
You know, Dr. Ledoux would come in to see me every morning, and I would say, "So when is the pain gonna kick in? You know,
Nice.
when am I gonna?" He would look at me, and he's like, "Well, you know, we gave you a block, and
Yeah.
you know, it should last a couple days, and you may not be in any pain." And I wasn't.
What a great
So,
problem.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
And you also had some chemo?
I did. I had 6 rounds of chemo. I had a cocktail of 4 different drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't have to have radiation. I did do the chemo, and I did continue one of my drugs for a year. It was, you know, because of the HERS2,
Mhm.
so I had
Yeah.
to continue Herceptin
Okay.
up until January of this year. So.
Yeah. What was your greatest challenge through the treatments, besides your butt hurting?
Gosh, you know, I think it's more mental. Anything, you know, just day to day, you know, getting up and having to go to work, and because I did work, I didn't want to change my lifestyle at all. You know, my son plays baseball, so he's very active in sports, and I didn't want to change anything about any of my routine. So there were days when it was hard to get up and get motivated, and you know, but I just got up and pushed on and moved forward. And there would be days when you just have to put on that fake smile, you know, and pretend like you're doing all right, because that's, you know, people would see me as being, especially at work, they would say, "Oh, you're so strong, and you know, you're doing so well." And in my head, I'm thinking, "Yeah, but no, I'm not," you know. But you know, you have your good days and your bad days.
Yeah. How about being a mom? Did it affect you in that area?
You know, I mean, I hope I was a good mom.
Yeah. I'm sure you were. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. What would you say were some blessings? Did you see any blessings, or do you see them now? Maybe you didn't see them in.
You know, I think I was blessed before I knew it. For me, it was after everything was done, just being able to utilize my skills to help others. I mean, I'm a hairdresser, and an opportunity just, I can't, you know, I always say it just appeared, but it really didn't, because, you know, everything happens for a reason. But I facilitate these workshops to help cancer patients cope with their side effects. Losing hair, losing eyebrows, your skin changes, dealing with all of the ugly side effects of what chemo can do. I teach these workshops called Look Good, Feel Better, and it's really rewarding to me to be able to do that.
Yeah. I can't wait to get in one of those.
Yeah, you should
I don't know
come. You
what's
should totally come. I mean,
stopping me.
you get this awesome kit, and we go over skincare, we go over sanitation, all the things that you kind of need to know, you know. And I mean, my skin was a hot mess. You know, it was dry. I mean, it looked like snake skin. I didn't know what to do with it. When I lost my eyebrows, I thought, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do?" You know, and then the whole hair thing, I just couldn't wear a wig. I hated them. And, you know, we go over scarves and wraps and things like that. It's a fun class, and it's a great way for, you know, people to get together who have all the same things that you know, you're going through, and relate. And it's just neat to see them come in and leave with just this big smile on their face because they feel so good about themselves.
Yeah. Is there a website or something you can plug here?
It's through the American Cancer Society. It's called the Look Good, Feel Better, and I think it's lookgoodfeelbetter.org, and you just have to register, and it's you know, it's a free class if you're going through treatment and you want to participate.
Is that only local, or is there
It's
instructors?
nationwide.
Okay.
It's nationwide, and you have to be a licensed cosmetologist to facilitate a class because we're dealing with skin and hair. But I mean, their locations are all over. It's at CTRC. We do them at Baptist, you know, over in Stone Oak. I mean, there's probably about 6 different locations throughout the year. I mean, pretty much every month there's a workshop.
Okay. How have you changed, or has this changed you inside?
Oh yeah, I don't think it's changed the person, that I am, but just it's given me just a different outlook on life. I have a different connection spiritually, and I'm okay with where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that spiritual connection, or?
I always believed in God, but it didn't really hit me until you're in the car every day and you're driving to work and you just need someone to talk to, and you just look to the Lord, and it's been good for me spiritually. I connect on a different level now, with God, and I think it's helped me become a better person, and it's just, God is always there, and He answers prayers, so.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Is there anything that you would like to share with people, or something that you would have done differently that you would encourage people going through this?
Don't be afraid of your initial diagnosis. I mean, the first thing you're going to do is want to run. I always live by 3 rules, and that's to live life to its fullest, to love, yourself and everyone and the Lord, and to just laugh. I mean, find a way to, find good in everything, and because laughter's, the best medicine.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab Everett.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Everett?
Come on down. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Can I give you a hug?
Yes, absolutely.
Come on over. You're my next victim on The Price is Right. So this is her gorgeous son, Jessica's son, Everett.
Hi.
Hi. And I was wondering if you could just talk for a minute about what is it like, because there's a lot of teenage kids who have to deal with their moms or dads going through this. What was it like from your perspective? First of all, were you shocked? Or
Well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, everything just seemed to be perfect before then. So, and of course it's really hard when you hear something like that.
Yeah.
It scares you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What changed about your life, kind of practically speaking, walking through this with Mom?
Well, it made me think about my mom a lot more, and made me realize that my mom makes a lot of sacrifices for me, and it taught me to appreciate her more for what she does
Yeah.
for me.
That's kind of huge, you know.
Mhm.
That's why this is called the cancer contradiction, because cancer is so hard, yet it somehow brings out the best often, and the best results. And to appreciate your mom is kind of a big deal, kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And just between you and me, she had said she hoped she was a good mom during that period. What do you think?
I think so. She was tough through the whole thing, and after the first week, I knew she'd be okay because she's really tough, and
Yeah.
I knew she'd be okay.
Yeah. And look at her now.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And she is okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for watching. God bless you.